Hi, everybody. This is Ashley, your three-time surrogate at SurrogateFirst, coming on just to share a little bit more about the amazing experience with surrogacy. Today, we are going to be going over the birth plan and what to expect for birth for the intended parents and for the surrogate. And then also, we want to make sure to go over kind of what to bring, and how that kind of looks for birth. As a three-time surrogate, I've been through it. It's probably my favorite part of surrogacy is when I actually get to watch intended parents meet their baby and bond with their baby. And I know that my time as a surrogate is done. So I would love to get started. I am going to share my screen. We'll kind of go over some things as we go through this. So bear with me as I play with technology, because sometimes it's not my best friend. But so what we'll do is we'll go over the surrogacy birth plan, how to prepare, what to expect, what you need to do, a little bit about legal, personal, baby stuff, surrogate stuff, and how to communicate like a proper goodbye. Well, every relationship is different in surrogacy, and you may be more bonded to each other, or it may be more professional. We want to make sure to kind of just help you out with that. No one way is right or wrong, but we kind of just want to give you a little bit to experience. So we'll get started. Let me share my screen. Okay, perfect. Again, bear with me on this, on the technology side. So you should be seeing right now the SurrogateFirst birth plan. And what we did is we just kind of compiled some things that may be important to you. So as we're talking about prepping for baby and getting ready as intended parents to welcome your baby into the world, there's some things that you really should bring to the hospital. Some of these are just, hey, if you want to bring it, others are going to be like, you really need to bring this. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the birth plan. So on ours, the SurrogateFirst birth plan, it's a document that covers all the important information for the hospitals. So it is going to list your attorney's contact information, your agency's contact information, their 24/7 line. If your agency has one. For us, it does list our directors. And that way, if a coordinator is not able to get a hold of, 12 o'clock at night, you have people in line to help you. It's also going to go over what's baby's insurance and who is baby going under, talking about different terminologies for the hospital. If they're not familiar with surrogacy, we want to make sure that they respect the terminology that is in place, that it includes calling you mom and dad. You are mom and dad, or your mom and mom, or your dad and dad. You are the parents. And so we want to make sure that you are properly banded, that you have your own room for recovery. That's all in this document, along with information for the surrogate, her insurance, things like that, so that you guys can enjoy the birth. The surrogate can enjoy the birth too, and just be able to recover peacefully without dealing with any misinformation or confusion with the hospital. In that, like I said, is going to have those things. You're also going to want to bring your registration. So you want to make sure you have your hospital registration forms that you turned in. So a copy of those. You're going to want to bring the your birth plan that you guys maybe created with the surrogate. So if that has to do with vaccination, circumcision, delayed clamping, cord bank things, have that stuff together, have that ready for the hospital so they know how to handle baby afterwards, and for the surrogate so they know what the surrogate is requiring or requesting during pregnancy. We also want to make sure you bring legal documents. So legal documents are going to be your pre-birth order. Bring at least 2 copies of your pre-birth order that are signed by the court. So the originals, not copies. And you want to have those just in case they need them. Now, normally either those documents would be sent to your hospital ahead of time. And the reason for that is we want to make sure we're connecting with the registrar, we're connecting with the head of labor and delivery so that they're aware that your child is being born, or for that are aware that the surrogate is giving birth to a surrogate baby. And during that time, we will send over the pre-birth order, the birth plan, registration information, insurance cards, IDs, whatever is needed to make sure that you have a smooth birth and you can just focus on the birth of your baby. We also want to make sure that you have the GCA. just in case. So if you have the original copy of your GCA, or even if you have a copy of your GCA with both signatures on there may be questions that they have during this time. And sometimes it is about educating the community about the birth of your child. We also want to make sure that you have any documents that the hospital has instructed you to bring. Next, make sure you have your cards, your ID, passport, if you're an international parent, your insurance information, and then a working debit card or credit card. You are going to need snacks and things like that and while the hospitals usually will supply, you also are probably going to want to be able to go down to the cafeteria, or if you need to order something, or if you have anything, also bills for the birth of baby, or for the surrogates bill, depending on how you guys have set that up with escrow and with the agency and with the surrogate. Make sure you bring extra clothes. Babies are messy. There are going to be blowouts. And if you've never experienced a blowout before, you've never experienced a little newborn boy, diaper changing can be dangerous. So you want to make sure that you have those extra clothes so you're not stuck in one outfit. We also recommend bringing weather appropriate clothes. Check out the area before you get there to make sure if you're going to need a jacket, or if it's going to be too hot there and you're needing shorts. Make sure that you have clothes that are easily open, like they easily open from the front, because when baby is born, you're going to want to bring baby straight to your chest for skin to skin. It's going to be a little hard as you're trying to rip off shirts and jackets and everything like that. So it is nice if you have a zip down, or even if you wear, sometimes I've seen parents wear little like hoodies or, jackets that you can zip and put baby in and zip back up to keep baby warm, or even a button down. So, definitely things you want to consider when you're prepping for baby to be born. Also, comfy socks or slippers for the hospital stay. You're not going to want to put up your tennis shoes or lace up your tennis shoes every time you get out of that bed. And you're definitely not going to want to just wear your shoes in the bed. Or you can, by all means, no judgment. And then toiletries. Now, while the hospital normally will provide toiletries, it's still nice to have your own toiletries, because sometimes those don't have the luxury of the ones you're normally used to. So make sure you're bringing shampoo, conditioner, soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, sanitizers, hand sanitizers now in this day and age too. Face masks. Make sure you have extra face masks. You are still required to wear them in most hospitals, especially in your room with baby or even out in the halls. So make sure you have a lot of backup face masks in case you need those. Snacks and drinks. There's going to be times where you're hungry or you're wanting something to drink, and the cafeteria might be closed, or there might be, the gift store might be closed. So I would definitely pack a little snacks. Entertainment, you may be there for a day or two or even longer, depending on the situation. So bring things that keep you entertained. Cash for parking or change for the vending machines, that's always good too. Chargers. Make sure you have all your chargers. You're going to want to document the birth of your baby. You're going to want to document those days, after baby is born. Make sure you have your chargers for your phones, calling family, all of those kind of things. It's important. I always bring an extension cord. I know it seems a little overkill, but it's not when you're trying to search. And if you are working from your hospital room, or you have to take a call or check an email, or you've got your phones together and then you have maybe something else, you're going to need more than one or two plugs. And sometimes the hospital's outlets may be further away from your bed. So it's definitely convenient for you to bring an extension cord. Gifts. Now, gifts are not mandatory at all. I'm not telling you you have to bring gifts, but I definitely always recommend, as a surrogate, I always bring gifts. I like to bring a gift for the parents, and then I like to bring gifts for the nursing staff. One, it's just nice to thank them. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for bringing baby Earthside safely. And then the other thing is, in return, they do have a great level of standard of care too, because they remember, like, hey, those are my friends who brought me snacks and thought about me when I'm working my 12-hour shift. So it's just it's just a good all around, but it's never necessary and it's never expected by the staff or even the surrogate. Now we'll talk about babies list. Babies need a lot of stuff, but at the hospital, lucky enough, they supply most of it. So you don't have to fly with these items. You can order them and have them delivered to the hotel, to the surrogate's home if she's comfortable with that. But you can get your items delivered, so you don't have to fly over if you're coming from out of state or out of country. Formula, check with the hospital to see what they're using. If baby is dealing well with the formula and you guys are supplementing between breast milk and formula or just breast milk, whatever it is, just check with the hospital. They will supply you with little pre-made bottles of formula a lot of times while you're there, and they send you a little with a care package home too of some things. And those are kind of nice when you have a newborn, especially if you're going to be traveling, because you can literally just put on the nipple, be able to feed baby and throw away the formula bottle and then also the nipple right away. And so everything is sanitized. Make sure you have wipes, diapers, baby blankets, and clothes. Now, while the hospital supplies all these things, it's still good to pack a little bit just in case you're not sent home with anything, and that way you're prepared. We also recommend you having the following available for release and while traveling. Carrying seat. It is mandatory that you have a car seat in order to leave the hospitals. So they are going to do a hospital check where they will come out, a car seat check where they'll come out with you and they're going to check your car, or if you guys are, if you have a car that you're renting, or if you're using transportation like Uber, they're going to make sure that you properly install the car seat and that baby is properly put in there. And that is for the safety of baby. So always have a car seat or they will not release you out of the hospital. Formula bottles and bottle cleaning brushes. Now, hospitals usually start babies on an already mixed formula. Like I said earlier, it's very convenient as you're able to just dispose of everything after feedings. But make sure you have those items for your stay. You're going to need to be cleaning bottles quite often if you're not using the premix. And the reason for that is babies eat every 2 to 3 hours. And so just imagine how many bottles you're going through. You're going to need to have some bottles and some cleaning items. Clothes for baby, including a going home outfit. Making sure you have that at the hospital kind of helps. And then also while you're home, baby blankets, wipes, diaper rashes, creams, baby safe laundry. If you're going to be in the area for several days, it's important to have something that is like hypoallergenic, very soft on baby skin that you can use. I think Drift is one of them, but we've always used all natural. And so there are so many different products that you can use. I'm not promoting those 2 products. I'm just saying those are the ones we've used. We are definitely not sponsored, but if they want to send me some laundry detergent, I would totally be okay with that. Also, travel friendly changing pads. You want to make sure you have one of those if you are driving home, a place to be able to change baby on the way home or in the airport or any of that. Make sure you're prepared for that. Also a front carrier, a baby wrap or a sling, putting baby in there to be able to be with you when you're walking around or even around the house. It's just kind of comforting. Baby gets to hear your heartbeat. It creates a great bond. So if that is something that you're able to do, I definitely recommend that. Diaper bags with a waterproof lining and shoulder strap. You can do backpacks, you can do whatever you want, but this is kind of nice because it does allow you to have that. Strollers are always important. Now you don't necessarily need it when you have a newborn, but sometimes it's hard to lug around the car seat. And a lot of the strollers now will allow you to attach the car seat into the stroller. So we're going to move forward and we're going to talk about surrogates and their list. Now, this is not an end all be all, so you can add things, you can remove things. We're just trying to help. The hospital will provide toiletries, like I had explained in the intended parent side. We also say to our surrogates, please bring your birth plan. Again, covers legal counsel, agency contracts, registration forms, talks about all of that for them. You also should be responsible for bringing your pre-birth order, a copy of it just in case you need it, because you never know if one person or one party is going to forget it. It is on file, but sometimes hospitals don't file those properly, or maybe it gets lost, whatever it could be. We want to make sure you're covered. And so that is definitely something to bring. You can bring your GCA, a copy of your gestational carrier agreement, and that it would be a good idea too. Just keep a folder together of the documents you're going to need. Clothing, bathrobes, comfy socks, slippers, nightgowns, underwear, maternity clothing. While we all hope we get back to where we started, that's not normally the case. So thinking about like your maternity clothes that fit you back when you were 7 months old, pregnant, that would be perfect. Toiletries, your common toiletries, shampoos, toothbrushes, hand sanitizers, body lotions, heavy duty pads, or Depends. Now we all know as women, because in order to be a surrogate, you've had to have a child. But those can really come in handy, and the hospital does provide you those nice little knitted underwear and those giant like boat pads. But if you want to be more comfortable, you could always bring your own. Also face masks, snacks, drinks, entertainment, extension cords, and gifts. It is okay to bring a gift for your parents. It is okay to bring gifts for the staff. It's definitely just a sweet way. I know for me, with my intended parents, for my three journeys, I always tried to find gifts throughout their journey that would be special for them. So little charms and things like that, or the scrapbook, defining what what the pregnancy was like, and those ultrasounds. And while you've communicated with them, it's still a nice, thing to do. I also did like baby clothes or strollers or car seats, whatever it was, depending on where my family was coming from. I'd find out what they were needing, and then I gave it. It is not mandatory, but I come from a culture where we love to gift things. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And it's just a nice way to say thank you, for allowing this process, and for all that they did too on their side. And I know we've been pregnant, but honestly, when I look at my past surrogacies, I am really thankful that I had the opportunity to help a family. But I'm also thankful for the time that I had with them and the memories I had with them. And then lastly, I'm thankful because while I was compensated for my pain and suffering of being pregnant, that still was a blessing to my family in my eyes. And it helped me to be where I am at today. And so I think it's just a beautiful experience. And so that's where my heart is. And so I like to say thank you with that. And so that's kind of where our list goes. If you need a list, please reach out to us at Surrogate First. You can contact Ashley, ASHLEY, at SurrogateFirst, SurrogateFirst.com. Gold star. And let me know, and I will send you this out. This is not my own intelligence. I have picked and choose from different things that I've seen in different surrogacy groups that I've been part of. If I'm missing anything, email me, because I want to have the best list possible for everyone. So if you're like, hey, this really worked out for me, or communicate with me on Facebook at Ashley, middle name Surrogate First, last name Mareko. Friend me. Let's be friends on Facebook. Like, let's talk. Like, let me know. I'll answer questions on there too for you guys. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can talk about the last part, and that's goodbyes. So I think it's really important to understand, and from both sides. I can only speak from my experiences and the surrogates that I've worked with during their postpartum and the fourth trimester. But I think it's important to share. And so if you're a surrogate, let me know if I was spot on with this, or if you had a different take on it. And then with intended parents, let me know how yours goes, and know that, no way is the right way. But let's talk about that. So you give birth as a surrogate, and, parent and parent are there to do skin to skin, and they go to the recovery room and they heal. Now that's not always necessarily how it goes. That can be how it works. For me personally, with my first family, I carried twice. Both times, me and mom stayed in the same room. We were friends through the process, and it was just nice to be able to help. And since I had several kids of my own, I was there to kind of just give some advice and help. I was also nursing and pumping. Nursing is not mandatory. It is not something every surrogate does. My intended mother requested, and I was complying with that because I felt like that was a beautiful ending to the journey. So no judgment, whether you do formula, nursing, breastfeeding, doesn't matter. Baby still is mom's. And I was just there to kind of help and nourish. So we did that. We pumped. We spent some time together, and then we spent about a week the first time together until they went home. There were some sad feelings. And not so much sad feelings of the baby was leaving, or the baby was leaving me, or I gave up, or whatever misconceptions are. Where it came from was, one, I am a type A personality, and if I do something, I try to do it the best I can. And now I had basically what I felt like was being fired from a job that I totally killed. And I know I wasn't fired. My job ended, but the project ended, or the job, or anything, my mission ended. I don't consider it like a work job, but it was still a task that I had been set out to do. And so that was part of it. Is, as a woman, I had labeled myself a surrogate, along with a mother and a wife and whatever else you want to, I labeled myself as. And so I had to come back and reevaluate who I was without the surrogacy label. So I was no longer a surrogate. I gave birth. And so that's something, if you're struggling with any of that, trying to struggle with the hormones that are like raging and going up and down or whatever it is, reach out. There is no shame in mental health. And so reach out with that. I took some time to just kind of process it. I went back to work fairly quickly because I wanted to get my life back together in order, want to get rid of the flubbiness that I had going on from a baby. So that's definitely where it was. I also was sad because my intended mother was leaving. Unfortunately, my intended father couldn't come, but my intended mother was leaving and we had so much fun. And we had communicated so much during the last month of pregnancy. And then after, when baby was born that first week. But what I had to remember is my parents were exhausted. They had a newborn for the first time in their lives. And those feelings of craziness that I had when I had my first child is what they were going through. So communication does dwindle, and that is okay. It doesn't mean that anything that you did less as a surrogate, that you did means anything less. You are still a valuable human who opened their heart and helped a family grow. Now, as intended parents, you're going through so much. This is a new baby. This is exhausting. They just keep eating and pooping and peeing and crying and everything else in the world. And this is new, or it's been a while, and so give yourself some grace. You don't have to be everything for everyone. Spend that time with your baby. With our agency, we have a health and wellness program that goes through fourth trimester. As an agency, we're there to support the surrogate. As an agency, we are there to support you. And so anything you need, reach out to us, talk to us. We're here to help you. Just because your baby is born does not mean we're done with you guys. You're stuck with us for life. You're part of the SurrogateFirst family, And if you're not with our agency and you're going through a hard time right now, again, I gave you guys my social media handles. Reach out to me. My heart is to help you. My heart loves this field so much. And so if you need something or you need help or you just, whatever it is, you want to talk to someone who's been through it three times and a little nutty for it, like, do it. I'm here to help. So that kind of goes through that. Now the goodbyes, they were hard. I cried, but I didn't cry tears of babiness. And even my intended mother cried. My last surrogacy, now here's another side of it. So yes, you can have that amazing relationship. My last surrogacy wasn't that. And so at delivery, my poor parents were stuck trying to get into the country. They were about 3 days from arriving in the US. They had to quarantine in another country. And so unfortunately I had to be induced at 38 and a half weeks or 38 and 5 days or something like that. And so they weren't going to be there for the birth. The godmother of the child, she was driving down from California. And so she was trying to get there so she could be there for baby. So there was some hard feelings, and I feel horrible for the parents that they missed the birth. We also never grew a close relationship. I had completed my task of growing their family. And so our communication wasn't, I think I got like 3 pictures. Now, while I love the relationship with my first family, me not having a relationship with my second family after birth did not deter me. I was a surrogate. I helped grow a family, and they now have the baby that they had always wished for. And so just because we didn't make that relationship doesn't make my experience any less special. I always go into surrogacy with the mindset of I'm here to grow a family. I'm here to help grow a family. And if my family grows in the end, that is a blessing and a bonus. And that's all I can ask for. And so intended parents and surrogates understand that sometimes people don't mesh well. Sometimes they're not the people that you would invite to a barbecue, and you tried and you guys were friendly. It doesn't matter. It does matter, but it doesn't stop what all of you guys just did in bringing this baby earthside. So that's kind of a little bit to talk about. We talked about the legal side of it. Make sure, FYI, like important, flash, make sure that you guys have either a pre-birth order set up or you have your attorneys already set up with your post-birth order. So depending on the state you're in, please do not go into this. If you do not hear from your attorneys, your agency, or anyone at around anywhere from like 15 to 20 weeks for the pre-birth order, definitely at 15 weeks, hey guys, when are we gonna start the pre-birth order? And then about 20 weeks, checking to make sure it's been started. And then with a post-birth order, most attorneys will ask for, 6 months or 7 months, into the pregnancy to get that started. Make sure you have those, because it's going to be a lot more difficult to get your names on the birth certificates, to get your travel documents, to get all of that if those things haven't been done. But I think that's it. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being part of my little webinar. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for allowing me to be part of the surrogacy field and community. I definitely don't take it for granted. I am thankful for all of you guys. Good jobs, moms and dads, as you guys grow your families and you get to be reunited with your babies. And great job, surrogates. You know, we do a great thing and we should be proud of it. Intended parents, you should be proud too, because the amount of love, time, and finances that you put into bringing your baby here, that is nothing to be ashamed of. So from Surrogate First, we thank you. We love you. If you have any questions, visit our website, www.surrogatefirst.com. Visit us on Facebook and Instagram. Check us out, and we are here for you guys. If you have any questions about the agency itself, you can always email info@surrogatefirst.com, info@surrogatefirst.com, or visit our website where you can meet with a surrogate or meet with an intended parent, get more information, but we are here for you guys. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys back here in 2 weeks.